So come into a kneeling position, and we're going to have our hands to rest on our thighs. We're going to turn the palms face up towards the ceiling. Shoulders are going to come down away from the ears, and just close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open the mouth, sigh out the breath. Breathing in, filling up your belly. And on the exhale, release any tension through the mouth. One last time, inhale, this time shoulders scrunch up towards the ears. And exhale to shrug them down. Keeping the eyes closed, just bringing some gentle rolls through your head. So tilting it over to one side, chin comes down towards the chest and over to the other side, maybe up towards the ceiling, and then all the way around. So aim to get this movement to be nice and slow. And just explore the parts of your neck and shoulders and head that might feel a little bit stiff, a little bit tight, and spend a little bit more time in those places. And just start changing the directions, so circling the other way, try and make it nice and exaggerated. Keeping the eyes closed, and come to a nice slow deep breath. When you've done enough rolls in both directions, slowly bring the head back through center. Slightly tucking the chin so your head, neck, spine are in a straight line. And then see if you can sit up even taller. So just elevate your chest, lifting the heart up towards the ceiling. Make sure you're not arching your lower spine. Shoulders are down away from your ears, elbows out to the sides, palms are nice and open. And then pick one person you want to dedicate your practice to. It could be yourself. It could be someone you love. It could be someone that you're finding difficult. And picking that one person, whoever it is, just to send all of your energy to. The yoga is a gift. You want to give it out to anyone that you feel needs to hear it, needs to have the energy of the yoga practice within them. And then chanting Om to open your practice, just bring the hands into your prayer position. Press the thumb, your fingers, and the palms in towards each other. The thumb touches your sternum, elbows out to the side, taking an inhale to prepare. And then slowly begin to blink the eyes open. Inhale, send the arms up. Really lengthen through the spine. And as you exhale, start to dip forward with the body. Come all the way down as far as you can into your child's pose with the arms in front of you. Shoulders draw away from the ears. Your glutes are glued to the backs of your heels, heels together, knees together, and then just work on each breath. Inhale into finding length in the spine, maybe coming to the tips of the fingers and gazing ahead. And on the exhale, trying to rest and sink the body down towards the earth, maybe catching the forehead, your third eye chakra, down towards the ground. Feeling a stretch through the side body, into the back. And opposing movements here, so pulling forward with the hands, really gripping into the earth, and pulling back with your tailbone. On the next inhale, press into those fingertips, lifting yourself up, gazing ahead, and on the exhale, walking the hands all the way back towards your knees. So you want to be facing the front of your mat. So twizzle around if you're facing the other way. And then from here, we're just going to twizzle onto our glutes and come to lie flat on your back. So we're starting off with a few hip opening movements. So we're going to bring the soles of the feet to press into the ground underneath you. And then we're just going to draw the knees in towards one another. And it's really nice restorative pose actually if you bring your feet a little bit wider. So try and bring the feet to the far edges of your mat. Drop the knees in. Try to keep the feet still grounded. And then relax the shoulders down, pressing the feet down into the ground. And just feel that stretching out gently through your legs. Hands can turn to face up towards the ceiling. You can close down your eyes. Nice restorative way to be in the beginning part of your practice. So coming back to your breath. Really focusing on deep inhales and exhales through the nose now.
And then keeping the eyes closed, we're going to start drawing the knees away from one another and bringing the soles of the feet to come a little bit closer in. So feet are about hip width apart. And then from here, we're going to come into our bridge pose, Setu Bandhasana. And we usually come to bridge pose at the end of the practice. Coming to the bridge pose now is a good way to just feel out how tight your hips are. Just feel out what your back bend feels like. And then towards the end of the practice, when we come back to this, you'll notice the difference. So we're going to press the soles of the feet and the big toe into the mat. Make sure the heels are as close as they can be towards your glutes, so your fingers can tickle the backs of your heels. We're going to press into feet and start lifting the tailbone up, lifting your hips up off the ground, lower back, middle back, and then staying there. Noticing that the legs are internally rotating, so they're nice and active, they're not flopping out to the side. Really pressing up, imagine like you've got something on your hips that you're trying to elevate all the way up towards the sky. Stay here and come to get a good control of your breath. You can open the eyes if you want to, better if you keep them closed. If you can, just you stay as inward as possible. From here, keeping those hips raised, squeezing the glutes, and rebuilding strength through the lower body. We're going to come into extending the arms straight towards the heels, tucking the shoulders under, interlocking the hands with one another, and then using those interlocked hands to press into the ground to see if you can drive your glutes, your hips, all the way up, even further. Come back to that steady breath, breathing in and out. So it's surprisingly challenging, even though it's quite a still movement. You're really working here by pressing the big toes into the ground, pressing the feet, squeezing the glutes, driving up. Take a deep breath in. And on the next exhale, make it a long, slow one. Release the interlocked hands and slowly start to lower all the way down the same way that you came up. So mid back, lower back, hips, glutes, knees drawing towards the chest. Wrap your arms around your knees, squeeze yourself in, give yourself a hug, and then slowly roll from left to right. Just massage out your lower spine. Just notice how that felt. Notice any tension. If you've been sitting all day, that might have felt particularly tight, but we're going to work on loosening that up. Start to slow down your swaying movement. Left hand comes to the left leg, right hand to the right. And we're going to draw the knees away from one another, just start circling out the hips. Keep the lower spine glued to the mat. Nice and open, 3 big circles, exaggerate the movement, and then we're coming all the way back in the opposite direction. 3 really big exaggerated circles. Notice where in your hips feels loose, where in your hips feels tight. Coming back through center, and then release the hands away. Bring those knees up, feet up, so you're about a 90-degree angle, and then the knees are coming over to the right. And we're turning to gaze in the left, just to touch. Knees come back up through center, head turns back through center, knees over to the left, head over to the right, just to touch the knees down, keep the shoulders rounded, knees come back up. And then keep going. Swaying the knees over from one side to the next, coming into a nice spinal twist, not staying there for too long, just building up some movement and some momentum through the lower body. And then on the next one, next time that you come up, we're going to stay up, and we're going to bring the soles of the feet to come back down. Again, the knees draw in towards the chest, squeeze yourself in, wrap the arms around, really squeeze in, and then bring the hands to come underneath the crease of the knees. We're going to roll and rock the body all the way to the front, so try to do at least 3. So we're rolling from the top of the spine, all the way to the base. Try and enjoy this movement, a bit like a roly-poly. And then when you've done enough, you're back at the top of your mat. You're going to come straight onto all fours. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. From here, just start swaying out the hips from left to right, bringing that movement into the elbows, into the shoulders, really start undulating the spine, free fluid movement. And as you come forward, try and breathing in. And as you come backwards, we're going to try to breathe out. So try to come into a synchronization, your breath to your movement. And now bringing your hips all the way over to the right. And then turning the head to look over the left shoulder. Hips come all the way to the front, over to the left. Turning the head to gaze behind the right shoulder. Hips come to the front, we're going to tuck the toes, come into downward facing dog. Lifting the hips up and back, draw the shoulders away. And then start moving out your dog by bending your knees one by one, gazing down between the tops of your legs, maybe gazing towards your navel. And just bringing some gentle movements if you need to. So working on drawing your heels down towards the ground. If you can't, that's absolutely fine. We're just trying to get as close as you can. Bend your knees to help you out. On the next inhale, come to the tips of the toes, gaze towards the front, step, hop or jump the feet between the two hands. Take an inhale to come to the tips of the fingers and gaze ahead of you, halfway lift. And an exhale to forward fold. Let's do that one more time. Taking the inhale, come to the tips of the toes, tips of the fingers and the toes, gaze ahead. And exhale, forward fold. Last time, come to the tips of the fingers and the tips of the toes, raising those heels, gazing ahead of you. And exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Stay here. Grab hold of each of your elbows and just work on either swaying from left to right. Deepening into this stretch, trying to get the upper body as close as you can towards the lower body. Really deep stretch through the backs of the legs here. Keep breathing. On the next inhale, dropping the arms down, and on the exhale, heel toe the feet about hip width apart. You stay where you are, I'm going to face you, but for this posture, you want to make sure you've got a fair bit of room in front of you because we're going to come up into a balancing pose. So you're hanging down in your Uttanasana, feet hip width apart, and you're coming into your Padangusthasana, your big toe hold. So you're going to bring the first two fingers underneath the big toe, thumb is going to come on top, so you've got a little hook. First, inhale to gaze up, opening through the chest, and then on the exhale, we're coming down, using that grip. So again, pull yourself, imagine like you want to try and get yourself through your legs. Your drishti, your gazing point, is to the tops of your legs. And make sure those shoulders are relaxed and away from the ears. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, can you sink even deeper? You can have a little bend in the knees if you need to. Focus on slowing down your breath, getting to this nice deep stretch. If you're not feeling anything, come to bringing the weight to the tips of the toes. So the heels are both still grounded, but you're just shifting the weight slightly more into the tips of the toes. You can feel a deeper stretch through the backs of the legs. From here, taking an inhale to lift the head, looking straight ahead of you. And then on the exhale, we're releasing the left hand. So release, let go, and bring that left hand to the left hip. From here, we're going to come into a balance. So we're going to bend both of the knees, and we're going to draw that right knee in towards the chest, and come up to standing. So the trick there is to use your gaze, slowly draw the eyes up, and then staying here. If you're struggling to hold on to your big toe, you've got the option to bring the hand to just come and hold on to the knee. Keep this foot flexed. If you want to take it a step further, we can extend that leg and come into your Padangusthasana, your extended big toe pose. From here, make sure that we draw that right shoulder back. Uddiyana Bandha is engaged, squeeze up through the navel. Mula Bandha, your root block is engaged, squeeze up through your pelvic floor. Everything is nice and active, maybe drawing that left hand out to the side. Fingers active, take a deep breath in, notice any wobbles, and a deep breath out. So become comfortable with whatever instability you have, become comfortable with what stability you're building. And then slowly we're going to bring that knee back in towards the chest, squeeze it in, left hand comes back if you've had it extended, and then we are going to cross the foot over. It comes just above that left knee. And we're going to extend the arms in front and bring them in. Start bending into the knee. From here, we're sitting back as far as we can, but we're pushing this right knee out to the side. You're sitting back, pushing, getting a nice deep stretch here into the hamstrings, into the hip flexors, opening up. Taking an inhale to straighten that left leg, knee comes in towards the chest. And on the exhale, slowly placing it down. You guys should be at the tops of your mat. Take a deep breath in, sweeping the arms up, gazing up towards the ceiling, growing nice and tall. On the exhale, hands come through the breath, through center, all the way down with the nice and forward fold. Inhale, tips of the fingers, gazing ahead, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step, hop or jump your feet into your plank. From here, we're coming into Vashisthasana, slide plank straight away. Feet come together, right hand comes underneath your head. Place it into the mat, swivel onto the sharp edge of your right foot. Notice any bubbles and shapes and extend the left hand up. So squeeze the core in, push this left hip up towards the ceiling. Option to bring that right hand down into your forearm to make it a little bit easier. Challenging option is to bring this left leg up. Maybe into your tree pose. Take a deep breath in here. And exhale, gaze towards the front, come back onto your plank, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Squeezing the elbows in as you lower yourself all the way down to the ground. Stay here, grab hold of each of your elbows, move your blocks out of the way, and rest your forehead down, shaking the hips from left to right, just gather back your breath. Deeply breathing in, and then start opening the mouth side out. Letting it all go. Okay, from here we're coming into Makarasana, crocodile pose. So you stay exactly where you are with the arms, you can look up if you need to. We're just going to turn the feet out, so that the toes are pointing to the outer edges. And you might want to widen the stance. So the feet are about the same width as the mat. Toes are pointing out, so we're not pointing them, we're flexing them out. And Makarasana, it's called crocodile pose because your legs are supposed to look like a crocodile's mouth. That is the idea. And then we're just going to drop the head back down. But this is a fantastic posture to really get engaged with your deep diaphragmatic breathing. It's one of the few postures actually where you can feel your belly against the ground. Any posture that you have with your belly on the ground is a great way to establish your deep diaphragmatic breathing. So come to your belly breath. And then slowly bringing the feet back in. So the tops of the feet are pressed into the ground. And the hands are going to come either side of the body. Palms are facing up towards the ceiling. And then resting the chin on the ground in front of you. So we're going to come into our bow pose. Start bending the legs so that your heels come like they're trying to touch your glutes. And then use your hands to reach back without looking behind. Try to grab hold. Left hand wraps around the left foot, right hand around the right foot. When you're ready, taking an inhale, what we're going to do is press the feet in towards the hands. So as you do that motion of pressing, you kind of naturally start to lift. We want to be pressing the lower belly into the ground, and lifting the chest, lifting the head, squeezing the glutes, and keep breathing here. Really easy to hold the breath in your little back bend here. Keep breathing, opening the chest, lifting yourself up, and on the exhale, slowly start to release. Come all the way back down, grab hold of your elbows, drop the head, come back to your breath. Long, slow, deep breaths in and out through the nose. Your deep Ujjayi pranayama, your victorious breath, that slight constriction in the back of the throat. Then some gentle movements into your hips. Okay, start to slow that down, slow that movement in the legs down, and coming back up. We're going to just extend this left arm out to the side. Just placing it down, palm is pressing into the ground, and the shoulder, you don't want it to open up. You want to turn that shoulder, the left shoulder, to be pointing towards the ground. Then from here, you come to the tips of the fingers of your right hand, and start rolling the rest of the body to open up towards the right side. So from here, the feet are going to come stacked. You're pressing into the tips of your fingers, and you're feeling a deeper stretch through that left arm. Take a deep breath in. Exhale to twist around like you're trying to gaze over your right shoulder. Really deepening the stretch, opening up through that left side of the chest. And then slowly start to roll the body all the way back. Just notice how that felt through that left side. We're going to bring the left hand and the right hand underneath the shoulder. Going to tap the toes, press into the palms and come up into your child's pose. Knees the same distance as the mat, feet come together, sit your glutes all the way back. Extend the arms in front and rest your third eye chakra, point between the two eyebrows onto the mat. Deeply breathing in and deeply breathing out. Slowly start to ripple yourself all the way forward, back onto all fours. From here, tucking the toes, hips are coming back and up. Ardha Mukha Savasana, downward facing dog. Taking an inhale, stepping both feet one step forward, coming into a twist in your shortened downward dog. By bringing the right hand to wrap around your left ankle and gazing behind your left armpit. Use that grip to almost try and pull yourself through. Come to a nice steady breath. Enjoy this twist, opening up. Slowly start to return. Place that right hand back. Try not to look to the front of the mat. Keep looking behind. And then bring this left hand to wrap around the right ankle. Gazing up and back through the right armpit. Pressing evenly into that right hand. Pressing firmly into both feet. And then slowly start to return the left hand back. And take a step back with both of your feet. On the next inhale, come to the tips of the toes, gazing to the front of the mat. Step, hop or jump your feet in between your two hands. Take an inhale, come to the tips of the fingers, halfway lifting yourself up, open chest. And an exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Another inhale, tips of the fingers, and bring yourself up to the tips of your toes. Lift the heels if you can. And an exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. You're going to stay where you are. I'm just going to point here because I've got a bit more room. You're going to bring the heels and the feet about hip width apart. Instead of your big toe pose, we are going to do Padahastasana gorilla pose. So you're still hanging down. Knees are as bent as they need to be. You're going to draw the hands to come underneath the soles of the feet like you're a gorilla. So try to get the toes to come to the very tips of the wrists. Again, take an inhale, lift the head as much as you can. You might not get far. And on the exhale, elbows out to the side so we're not locking out our elbows. Really let the head and the neck completely loosen down. Feel a nice pull through the body. And try and slow down your breath. Think back to that person you dedicated your practice to. And dedicate it all to them. Deep breath in. Exhale, can you sink even more into the posture, into your asana. And then slowly take an inhale, lift the head, lift the chest. And on the exhale, slide the hands underneath the feet and come back into your big toe pose, Padahastasana. 2 fingers underneath the big toe, thumb comes on top. Take an inhale, lifting yourself up. And an exhale, just to get even deeper into the backs of the legs. We're coming down in this one too, elbows out to the side. Drishti is to the tops of your legs. That's your gazing point, so gazing at the very top. From here, taking an inhale, lifting the head back to the bottom of your mat. And releasing on the exhale that right hand. Bring that right hand to your right hip. Start bending both of your knees. We did so on the other side, we're doing it on this side as well, that balance. So visualize bringing your weight to that right foot. And then pick up that left foot. Bring the knee in towards the chest. Draw the gaze up, up, up until you come to standing. Stay here. Option to hold the knee like this. Option to take it a bit further and extend the left leg out into your Utthita Hasta Padahastasana. You're standing, extended big toe pose. Drawing the left shoulder back, keeping that left foot flexed. Option to open the right hand out to the side. Pressing strongly into that right foot. Uddiyana Bandha is engaged, Mula Bandha engaged, and the breath is nice and strong. It's going to keep you here for a little bit longer. Notice any wobbles. If you come down, that's absolutely fine. You can make your way back up. Start bending the knee back in towards the chest. Wrap both hands underneath that knee, on top of the knee, just under the knee cap, and then squeeze it in. And then we're crossing over left foot comes on top of your right knee. Just feel how that is in your hips before you start bending back, drawing that left knee out, extending the arms in front, and then bringing the hands in. So trying to keep quite a nice and upright in the chest, but still sinking down. So again, you've got those opposing movements. Take a deep inhale, exhale to sink even further, and then slowly arms come out to the side, knee draws back in towards the chest, and on the exhale, slowly lower down. Again, you guys should be at the front of your mat. I'm going to stay where I am just so I can show you. We're going to start opening the stance up. So if you're at the front, you can just take a big step back with one of your legs, and you're going to draw the feet in towards one another. So the toes point in, and the heels point out. From here, take an inhale, send the arms up. And on the exhale, we're coming all the way down, thinking forwards and down in your wide-legged forward fold. Taking an inhale once you get to the ground, tips the fingers, gazing ahead. And on the exhale, sink down and try to get the hands to the ground. Bend the knees if you need to. And when you get your hands down, the hands are in line with the feet. For your Prasarika Padottanasana A. Dropping the head and the neck again, completely relaxing it down, gazing towards the tops of your legs, maybe to your navel. Taking an inhale, coming to the tips of the fingers, gazing ahead of you. And on the exhale, bring the hands to your hips for a flat back. On the next inhale, little bend in the knees, slowly come all the way up to standing. And on the exhale, we're coming all the way back down. So again, hinging at the hips to come forwards and down. The hands this time stay on the hips. We're drawing the elbows out. Imagine if you want to try and get the elbows to touch behind your back. You might not, but you're working on getting that stretch through the front of the chest. And then watch where your head is. Make sure that you're still dropping your head and your neck. Trying to get the head through the legs if you can. Deep breath in, really draw the shoulders and the elbows back, open through the chest, open through your heart chakra. And on the next inhale, slowly coming all the way back up to standing, keeping the hands on the hips. Exhale to release the hands down. Inhale, arms come out to the side. Interlock the hands behind your back. Exhale, stay here, draw the interlocked hands down. On the next inhale, we're going to lift up, come into a little back bend, arching through the spine, pressing the feet firmly into the ground, shifting the hips forward. And on the exhale, hinging at the hips, coming all the way down, working on getting your interlocked hands if you can, all the way over your head. Really nice deep stretch now. We're coming into the inner thighs. We're stretching out through your hips. We're stretching out the sides of the body, into the shoulders, into the back. The whole of your body. Remember where your head and your neck should be. That dristy gazing point is to the tops of the legs. If you can't feel anything, shift the weight as much as you can into the front of the feet. You're going to get it even deeper into that stretch. Taking a deep breath in, and exhale to sink even further towards the earth. And another inhale, slowly bring the interlocked hands down towards your glutes and lower them down as you lift the body all the way up to standing. Just come to your breath, make sure we're not getting dizzy. It's really easy in this posture too. And release your interlocked hands. Last one in this pose. Sorry, the Padottanasana deep. We inhale, send the arms up. And as you exhale, you're familiar with this. We're coming, hinging at the hips to come all the way down, and then we're making that loop that we've done with grabbing hold of the big toe. First, two fingers underneath the big toe, thumb is on top. Taking an inhale, pressing that grip down, gazing ahead. And on the exhale, again, you know, elbows out to the side and dropping the head down. Same dristy gazing in between the two legs. You should feel a little bit looser now from doing a few different variations, different rounds of this. Just notice what your face is doing. So at no point do we want to be scrunching up the face. Just make sure your face is nice and relaxed. No tension through the forehead, no tension through the cheeks. On your next breath in, we're going to release the grip, stay down. And we're going to walk the hands to the front foot. Point that right foot towards the front of the room, twizzle onto the tips of your left toes. Press into the palms and shoot that right foot back into your plank. From here, Vashisthasana, slide plank. Feet come together. Hand comes underneath your chest, so your left hand this time. Come onto the sharp edge of your left foot and extend the right arm up towards the ceiling. Again, option to come to your left forearm. Option to take it a step further by picking up that right leg or coming into your tree pose with the feet and the legs. Just make sure whatever you're doing, whichever variation, you're shifting the hips up towards the ceiling. Deep breath in. And exhale, gaze comes down, hand comes down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Elbow squeeze in, and you're lowering yourself all the way down to your mat. Grab hold of each of your elbows, rest your forehead down, all the way to the front, and then shaking the hips left to right, catch your breath. Let your heart rate settle. Doing so well, you're nearly at the end of your practice. Just start to slow down the wriggles through your hips. And when you're ready, we're going to release the hands. Keep that left arm where it is. The right arm is going to extend out. That right shoulder is facing down towards the ground. The right hand presses into the mat. From here, the tips of the left hand, tips of the fingers of the left hand press into the ground. And you're really pushing into it to just come and circle the body and open it up towards the left. And from here, you're deepening that stretch through the right arm. Pressing into the fingers, taking an inhale. And on the exhale, we're seeing if we can gaze over that left shoulder. So it feels very odd. We never really stretch our arms out against the floor. But it's a great way to open out through the chest. Release out any tension through that shoulder. And often the chest and the shoulders can be particularly tight. And then slowly start to roll the body all the way back. And bring the hands to come either side of your shoulders. Tuck the toes, come into your child's pose. This time the feet and the heels are together. Hinging the hips forward, but the arms come back, palms face up towards the ceiling, and the forehead comes down to the mat as much forward as you can get it. Taking a deep breath in. And this time exhaling through the mouth. And just softening your breath here. So stay in your child's pose for as much as you want to. This is a posture that people often love. It has an instant relaxing effect as soon as we get that third eye chakra down onto the ground. Kind of instantly calms us. So you can stay here for as long as you want to. But eventually you're going to find your way into your Shavasana. So when you're ready to come out of your child's pose, just wriggle yourself forward so that the two heels are at the tops of the mat. And then just start to slowly lower yourself down. So when you come down, you want to really squeeze your core and you want to make sure that the feet aren't lifting. They will drag back with you perhaps, but you want to try and keep them grounded to the ground, grounded to your mat. And then slowly, when you get down to the ground, let your feet flop out to the side, legs can be completely still. And release the arms either side of the body. And so before we set up for Shavasana, last little test, what we're going to do is to come into our bridge pose, our sacred Bandhasana that we did at the beginning of the class. So feet are going to come to press into the ground. Bring them in towards your glutes. Make sure they're about hip width apart. And then we're going to press the feet into the ground, lift the lower back, hips, glutes, mid back, everything lifts up. Press into the hips. Press the toes into the ground. And just see if you notice the difference. See if you can get even higher. See if your legs feel a bit looser. And then from here, interlocking the hands underneath, tucking the shoulders under, and pressing the interlocked hands into the mat to see if you can lift yourself up even more. Maybe close your eyes here, really connect with the posture, connect back to your breath, connect back to that dedication that you made at the beginning of your practice. And then slowly, when you're ready, release your interlocked fingers, slowly lower the body all the way down the same way you came up. Maybe draw the knees in towards the chest for one last wriggle. And then coming into Shavasana. To your corpse pose, most important posture of your practice. So often people miss this pose, but it's really crucial so that you reap the benefits of all of the postures you've just done, so you're getting the best out of all of the breathing exercises, all of the energy that you've created in the practice. This is the moment to kind of settle, reap all of those benefits, and also to let your heart rate completely return to normal, your body temperature to return to normal, your breath to return to normal. Come into a type of meditation here where you're completely relaxed. The body feels nice and heavy, sinking into the earth underneath you. Eyes are closed, face is nice and still. Enjoy the next few minutes of your Shavasana. You begin to just start wriggling around your fingers, wriggle around your toes, and deepen your breath. So start to just bring yourself back into the room, keeping the eyes closed and just bringing some gentle movement through the whole of the body, maybe moving the head from left to right. And then start straightening the legs so that the feet come to touch, and bring the arms up above the head. Take a big, big stretch from the tips of your fingers all the way down to the tips of your toes. And when you're ready, just slowly turn onto the right side of your mat, just like you're turning over, as if you're in bed, making a little pillow with your right hand. And just resetting your body here. Imagine like you've just woken up, it's a brand new day. Feeling fresh, free of any toxic energy. You let go of any tension that you were holding on to. And then when you're ready, slowly start to make your way up. There's no rush. Find yourself in a seated posture. cross-legged, lotus pose, kneeling, whatever it is, works for you. And when you get there, eyes are closed, hands come into prayer position, thumb touches the center of your chest, Anahata chakra, shoulders are relaxed and down. Just taking a moment to notice how you feel compared to how you felt at the beginning of practice. Notice any differences, any changes, and thinking back to that person you dedicated your practice to, and just dedicating it to them again. Taking any energy you feel now into the rest of your evening, into the rest of your week. And we'll chant Om to close off practice. So take an inhale to prepare. And then bowing the head down, chin tucking in towards the chest. Thank you for joining me in practice. When you're ready, you can slowly begin to open your eyes. Thank you.